Oh, you're fine. So, none of this I had paid attention to at all until when Teresa, I guess, has worked for the state for, she said, like 30 years.
Teresa
Bassett. No T. I mean, no H, I mean.
Okay, I was going to say.
T-E-R-E-S-A.
Okay.
Bassett, I believe, is B-A-S-S-E-T-T.
E-T-T, okay. And,
I don't know the exact reason. She told me one story, how she ended up over in our department. I heard other stories about how she ended up in our department, so I didn't really care. But, so she was transferring over to our department.
what's the name of the department?
BOIO, Business Office Imaging Operations.
Okay, so she's being transferred to the Midvale office.
Right.
Okay.
And then my supervisor asked me if I would train her.
Okay. About what time frame was this?
Late February, early March, somewhere in there.
About
10.
Okay. And you were asked to do some on-the-job training?
To train her
Okay.
on the job functions.
And what was her job duty? Was it similar to yours?
Same thing.
Same
She
job
was going to be
duty?
doing the same job.
Okay.
Did you know her before she transferred over there? Never met her?
No.
So you've only known her since late February, early March of this year till today?
Right.
Okay. That's how long the relationship's been there?
Right.
Okay. So, she shows up and you start to train her. Will you kind of walk us through how the training portion went with you two?
Well, she was driving me crazy the first day. She was just extremely, extremely negative. She was really negative. She was very, very, very bitter about being transferred over to our department. I guess it wasn't really, she didn't want to come to our department. So I had heard rumors that she was a supervisor she used to work under Steve Leba. I don't know if you know who that is, but
I do.
What I heard is that there was a secretary that Teresa kept harassing and harassed her so bad that they transferred Teresa out of that department.
Was that within workforce services?
No, it wasn't DWS.
That was before she came to workforce services.
Yeah. So she was really bitter about coming over to our department. She didn't want to be there. She hates welfare, and she hates anybody on welfare, and so she had really, really, really negative attitude. She didn't want to be there whatsoever. She was very angry about being there, and she didn't want to learn this job. So,
what were some of the things? Do you remember anything in particular that she said to you over the course of the relationship that leads you to believe she's bitter towards individuals receiving?
Well, she didn't hide it.
She didn't hide it?
She didn't hide it at all.
Very outspoken?
Yes, very, very. Yeah, I don't remember if it was the first thing that she said to me, but basically one of the first things that she said to me, because she wanted to make sure that I understood, is that she did not want to be in our department. She did not want to be working in our department, and she was very angry about being transferred over to our department. So me, I was just trying to make the best of it because I was stuck with her, according to her, she said that they had eliminated her position, and the only place that they had for her to go was the BLIO over in Midvale. So, yeah, she was very bitter. If I was showing her something on the computer or whatever, and when I was explaining like the different program types, and if you can, this is open or this is closed or this has been denied. If I'd say, and I'd say you can see that all the cases have been denied, she'd say like good or something, or she'd make comments like if there was a case that had like every possible program open, and she'd make comments about that's where all her tax dollars are going, and
Were these for individuals you thought were U.S. citizens? Were they for everybody, or was there a particular group?
I couldn't tell you because I didn't, at this point, I didn't pay any attention to it.
Okay.
So it was just part of the training. She needed to be able to tell which programs were open, which programs were closed, which ones had been denied, things like that, what the different type of programs were, things like that.
Okay.
So she always had negative comments to make about anything that I had said. So, and so I really didn't like her at first.
Well, you kept out to a rocky start.
Right, I didn't like her. But I'm the kind of person to where I don't know, once I learn the way somebody is, I tend to try to just accept him for that way and then just try to ignore the bad points about him. She was very negative, she was very opinionated, but I just tried to overlook that. So, because she actually was a nice lady. She was just really bitter and negative. And, and she did lighten up over the course of time. She kind of accepted a little bit more that she was there. That was her job now. But I'm trying to think if she made any comments to me before she told me. Sometime during the course of the training, she had said that she had pointed out that people that she believed to be illegal.
In this country.
Right.
She pointed that out to you?
Yes.
Just when the screen would be up and you guys would be working on a case.
Right. Well, and she was extremely, she wanted to know, like, every little tiny aspect of everything, Like if I'd say, you can see here that all 3 programs were denied or whatever. Because when she very first started, we used to register applications. So you needed to know, if the program had denied, how long ago was it? Or if it had closed, how long ago was it? Because then it either a revolving door application or you would register it, things like that. But she said that, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. But basically what she said is that she was asking me if, does this mean that this person is illegal? I don't, there's all zeros here to where there should be, because in the old Pacman system, the new E-Rep system is just blank. The old Pacman system, it would just all be zeros.
Okay. No social security number.
Right. Where you would see the social. And she wanted to know, how come there was no zeros? Does that mean that they didn't have a social? And I told her, probably, I don't know. And she said that she let slip. She said that she had called immigration and she was going to get them all. She said she was going to get them all out of here. And
all the illegals?
Yeah. And I said, what? And she said that she had already called immigration and made a deal with immigration. And she said she was going to get them all. And I didn't say anything. I didn't ask her further because somebody else was in the office at the time, which I can guarantee you she didn't hear because I can talk to her directly and she doesn't even realize I'm talking to her. But she may have heard, I don't know. But
who was that?
Demetria Keele, Keele. She's been on vacation until I believe the 29th, I believe.
She doesn't hear well, is that what you're saying?
No, Demetria, she'll just be so into what she's doing that she's not paying attention at all to what's going on there.
Okay.
So,
Do you know about the time frame when she first said this to you, about the deal with immigration?
it would have been during our training. It probably would have been March then. Because I trained her for 1 week and then she ended up going on a week's vacation. And then I trained her for 2 or 3 weeks after that. I don't quite remember if it was 2 more weeks additional or if it was 3 additional. So then, at some point that same day, she said, come here, I want to talk to you. And she pulled me outside.
Outside the building?
Right. And she said that she didn't mean to let it slip, that what she had told me, that she had called immigration, made a deal with immigration to turn these people into immigration. So, so obviously if somebody says that to you, you're going to be a little curious to know what exactly are they talking about.
Yeah.
So I asked her, what deal did you make with immigration? And she said that she had called them up and told them that she worked for her job. In her job, she had access to information, personal information about illegal people that were here illegally. She said she wanted to know if they would be interested in obtaining that information. She said that they didn't know who she was, and that they didn't know where she worked, and they didn't know where the information was going to be coming from. I guess they said that they wanted the information, so she said she was going to start gathering the information for her.
She told you she was going to start to gather information
Yes.
on individuals who reside in this country illegally.
Right.
Okay. Do you remember what you said at that point, or was you just in shock?
I just stood there because I had never ever heard anybody, I had never thought I would ever come across somebody that would do that. But, so I don't think at that point I didn't say anything. And then she said that she didn't mean to tell me. She just let it slip. She said that...
She let it slip the first time, and then she took you outside to specifically tell you,
Right.
this is what I'm doing.
Right. Right.
Did she ask you any time not to tell anybody?
Yeah. So in the course of this conversation that she was having with me, and really the whole time that I was thinking in my head is, I need to go back in, because if you knew my supervisor, she had different names, Nazi, things like that. But she was one of those supervisors that you always had to make sure, she wasn't breathing down your neck, So really I just wanted her to shut up so I can go in before my supervisor noticed that I was outside and asked me what I was doing, But she said, she asked me not to say anything to anybody that she was doing this. She said that she didn't want to get me. She said that I had more to lose than what she did. So she said that she didn't want to involve me. And I told her that I did not want to be involved. But obviously, that changed. But
Why at this point?
But at that point, yes. I mean, I knew better, but
Why do you think she said you had more to lose than her? She worked there for...
because I had children.
Oh, okay. So she had expressed that to you.
Right, and I don't know if that was something that she specifically said at that time, or if I just kind of figured that that's right. But when I told her that I didn't want to get involved, because I told her that I got 5 kids that I'm trying to support, by myself, and I need this job, But then she wouldn't shut up about it after, and then we went inside.
Right.
And then she wouldn't shut up about it, kept, making...
When you were around the desk
comments,
and working?
Yeah, making her comments about the illegals and stuff, and
Did she refer to this information? Did she call it, everybody now calls it the list. Did she refer to it as anything specific?
I think the list.
She used the word the list?
Well, I don't think her intention at this point, I don't think she fully knew what she was planning on doing with this information.
Okay.
I think that distributing it to law enforcement and to the media and stuff, I think that idea popped in later in her head.
Okay.
Because if she had told me that right off the bat, then I wouldn't have said anything, but I probably would have asked my supervisor to...
So she just said, I'm going to start
Train
gathering
somebody
this
else.
information for immigration.
Right.
I've talked to them.
Right, and she was going to start she was gathering the information so that she can turn the people into immigration.